Welcome to PA Timber Goose. Today is October 9th and this is the second day on the Appalachian Trail. I got dropped off at 5:01 and currently I am above Route 72. Swatara is at the bottom of the mountain. Saw lots of wildlife yesterday. Saw 15 turkeys, 1 spike buck, many squirrels, and no critters in the night. Nothing walking around me last night. Nothing tried to steal my food. So today we're going to head for Rausch Gap. Lots of hikers on the trail yesterday too. By the end of the day I think I was up to about 20 hikers. It was very chilly last night. Hopefully that wind will die down today. Let's head down the trail here. And got camp all broken down. We'll turn you back on at the Iron Bridge, so stay with us. Here we are underneath the interstate. I took a little shortcut. I came down the road on the left hand side. The trail actually goes across the top of there and then it comes out over there. Took a little shortcut. A lot of traffic on that highway. I could hear the big trucks rolling down there all night long. Other than that, it was very peaceful. Heard a few owls. A couple of critters running around in the woods. No bears. Now we'll take a stroll up here to the Iron Bridge and we'll go across 72 and up the other side. I'm in search of some water. I'm gonna fill up my water supply here somewhere. Stay with us. We're gonna go across the Iron Bridge, go across 72 and up on the other side there, and then we'll go up to Swatara Park. Very cool bridge. Built by the Berlin Iron Bridge Company, East Berlin, Connecticut. No date. Alright, let's take a stroll here. Swatara looks a little high today. Those 4 or 5 days of rain did it some good. Get out in the middle here, we'll take a look. Very beautiful today. The leaves are changing. Take a look over the side here. Beautiful mountain. Take a look out the other side. Walk over here a little bit more. Definitely doesn't look like the same stream, the one that I fished, because the water was down so low. Got a nice flow going now. Across the other side here. Very beautiful in here. Rausch Gap is in the middle of those 2 mountains there. You can see the gap in between the 2 mountains. Over top of the weeds. Rausch Gap is right there, so we have to go all the way up to the mountain and then climb all the way to the top and then go all the way down into the notch in the mountain there. It's very beautiful. Still climbing up, haven't got to the top yet. Some of this trail is really bad. It needs to be rerouted. The part I'm climbing now looks like it's new. Usually on the Appalachian Trail, after a section washes out and it becomes too difficult to climb, usually the trail club will reroute it and make a smoother route. Usually what they'll do is reroute it way to the right or way to the left. Top of this looks like it was burned by the Game Commission. And no critter sign on. No critter sign yet. I saw 2 deer down in Swatara. That was about it. I hope I'm on top of the ridge. I'm getting tired of climbing. My motor's starting to overheat. A lot of dead trees in here. They had a huge infestation and kill. If you look through the woods here, you can see all the dead trees. Silent forest. That was quite a climb. That took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to climb up the front of that mountain. Once I got out of that field, it was most of the trail was all washed out. It's made it very difficult going. Only about 5 to 10 yards at a time. Take a break all the way to the top. But now I would say I'm on top of the ridge. Definite improvement up here. That trail is very beautiful. That's what I like to see. You can rack a lot of miles up when it looks like that, but when you get into the big rocks and boulders moving under your feet, it's definitely a test of your endurance and your patience, your willpower. All right, let's get strolling down the ridge up here. Make our way to Rausch Gap. That's very beautiful down there. You can see the interstate all the way down there. Perfect view on top of the mountain. This is worth the difficulty of the climb up the front of the mountain just to take in this view. Definitely beautiful. It's very quiet up here. You can see the cars going up and down the interstate. The Appalachian Trail splits at the top of the hill, so you can go to the right and you can bypass the water crossing, which right now there's not a lot of water in here. If you go to the right, you have to walk down the side of the mountain, and then you'll end up on Stony Valley Rail Trail. If you go straight, which is the old road, it's actually very cool looking. It's still there, it's just washed out. It goes up over top of the mountain, all the way across the other side. We're going to walk through here. Take a look at the swamp here, now that I can get through here. First time I hiked through here, this is the part that I remember. This was the coolest spot. And everything was still alive here. Let's turn you around. You can see the devastation beavers can cause when they back the waterway up. It kills everything. Some years this is underwater and it's 5 or 6 feet deep, but right now it's not. I'm still surprised all those trees are standing upright. It's not too bad in here right now. It's kind of soft, and I can see other footprints of hikers going across here, so I know I can get through here. This way is actually shorter than making it right up there on the top of the hill and going out and around. This will bring me actually right where I want to camp tonight. And we made pretty good time. Still a little bit of water in here. Still kind of mushy. Let's stroll across here. My boots are waterproof, so my feet will stay dry. Move our way through here. There used to be a bridge in here over the stream the first time I came through here, and the water went underneath the bridge. I'm not sure how long it's been like this, dammed up by the beavers. Not too bad. You still might get a wet foot. Got one bad spot here. Let's turn the camera off while I tiptoe through here. Hopefully I won't get drenched. You can see there's still some water gushing in here. Blue jay squawking at me. We'll be right back. That wasn't too bad. Here's the old concrete foundation for the old bridge. It's still here, right there. This is where the old bridge used to go across the stream, which is right here. Still got some water flowing through here. Big old dragonfly there. But now I'm right where I want to be. I didn't really want to walk down the Stony Valley Rail Trail. I'm kind of tired of looking at that. I want to see some woods and some wildlife. When this swamp is underwater, there are a lot of wood ducks in here. You can hear them. Great place to watch some wildlife. Bring your bike and a chair and a nice camera. You can take some pictures. There's a wood duck box on that tree there. There's more than one here. And lots of wildlife sounds here in the morning and the evening. All right, let's take a stroll on the other side up here and find a spot to camp for the night. Okay, time for some supper. I'm gonna have some beef pasta marinara. This is Peak Refuel. And last night I had pork and sweet and sour pork, and that was really good. I've never eaten that flavor before. Been really happy with Peak Refuel meals. They taste much better than the other brand that everybody buys. It's a few dollars more, but you get 2 servings, and it tastes much better. Got my hammock set up with my tarp. Got my food bag up in the air. Here's a home sweet home for tonight. I have an 8x10 ultralight tarp. And then I have an Eno hammock on there. I have a foam pad, 30-degree bag, which is kind of light. Last night it was very cold, and then I have a liner on top of that. Last night was very chilly, and I was kind of shivering there towards morning. I think I woke up around 5 a.m. And hopefully tonight I'm quiet, no critters. Got the food bag hung up in the tree. Tried something new this time. I have a 100-pound braided fishing line to hang my food bag. And change a few things up on a hammock. No hammock straps. I have 700-pound test tied to my hammock, and then I have 1,000-pound test paracord. Kind of got away from the metal. Very easy to tie. The straps sometimes slide down the tree in the middle of the night, and you wake up, you're laying on the ground. It slowly slides down, and then boom, you're on the ground. The 1,000-pound paracord seems to work very well. My braided 100-pound fishing line is up and hold my food bag up in the tree. Trying to go lighter. Eventually I want to get my pack down to 35 pounds. Right now I'm hanging in at 40. I think I have too many camera batteries, and we got to make some adjustments to it over the next year or so. Give the old shirt a wash. It's getting a little ripe. It's starting to smell garlicky. Tonight we're camping at Rausch Gap. So we're pretty close to the stream here. Saw a few hikers today. I think I have the place for myself tonight. It's very beautiful in here. Wait for my water to boil here, and then we're gonna do it. We're gonna enjoy a delicious meal, and then we'll have some coffee with hot chocolate. That always loads up the calories when it's been a long day. Yesterday I hiked 10 miles, today 7 miles, but yesterday was mostly boulder piles. Today I climbed a mountain almost straight up for about 2.5 to 3 hours. And when I got to the top, I came all the way down. The other side, walked across the beaver dam, which was pretty dry. That was pretty slippery in the middle there. I got one pant leg wet, slid in the water, but fortunately it wasn't too deep. All right, time to sit here and relax. Hopefully that fire will catch and keep going. Everything in here is still damp because tree canopy is so thick. The sunlight doesn't really get in here like in other areas. The top of that mountain today was very dry, but down in here it's still damp. Hemlocks can hold a lot of moisture. They release that back into the air. Hemlocks love damp environments. very peaceful area in here. The road I followed down over the mountain, I believe there's a, you can still see the bridge where it went across the road up there. So it comes over this side of the mountain, then it goes across and back in there. And if you go down where the Appalachian Trail goes up over the mountain towards the shelter, there's another road that cuts down in there too. A lot of the stuff is still here. You can still see it. The cemetery only has a few headstones left, but apparently there are many more than those 2 headstones. Why anybody would take a grave marker and put it in their house, I have no idea. That cemetery is actually much larger than what you can see. There's I did some research online, and there's a mass grave down in there somewhere from a train wreck, and the train tracks here must have killed quite a few people. But the mass grave, they couldn't tell who was who, so they just kind of buried everybody together. So there were many more people in that cemetery than what you can see based on those headstones and the few rocks that are there. Sometimes they bury people with no marker at all, not even a stone or anything. But from what I found out online, there's supposed to be 2 cemeteries. So the one down here is one, and I think the other one's on the other side. There's some big areas out there that are on the other side of the stream here that are cleared out. I bumbled around in there last year quite a few times in the spring looking around, and I followed the old roadway back in there. I walked about 3 miles down that old road and then came back. But forest is definitely regenerating in here. Eventually that cemetery will vanish too. But lots of interesting things in here. This is the second time I camped in this area. First time I came through here, the arch was still there, and I went up towards the shelter. I looked in the shelter. There was a bunch of people in there, so I didn't go in there. I went up the trail a little further. It's been a long day. I'm really tired. I went up the trail a little further, and I camped over on the right-hand side. And the stagecoach trail used to go through this area from Philadelphia all the way to Harrisburg. There used to be a sign back in there, but I think the sign rotted, fell down, and you really can't see the trail anymore because all the trees got blown over or knocked down. But that's where I camped the first time. I didn't know much about backpacking. Up until that time, I would do just like overnighters or a couple days. My wife dropped me off at Swatara over there on 72 in the big parking lot there where the trailhead is. And I came up the front of the mountain, went over the top here. It was really warm that day. There was motor climbing up that hill because it was about 80 degrees. I was sweating way too bad. And that's about as far as I got. And I camped there for the night. About 11, 12 o'clock, I started hearing voices. I thought maybe it was coming from the shelter. So I had a really big flashlight. Came out of the tent looking around, and couldn't see anybody, couldn't hear anything. A lot of strange things happened in this area. And I went back to sleep, and these voices continued pretty much till the sun came up, and I got no sleep that night whatsoever. Basically, it sounds like people holding a conversation, but you can't actually understand what they're saying. Sometimes when you come back here and you know that you're the only one here, you can hear voices back in the corner back here, and there's nothing down there. There's nobody on the bike trail. Sometimes it sounds like kids playing and talking. Or you'll hear conversations. So this can be a pretty creepy area. Hopefully I'll get some sleep tonight and I won't hear those voices. But that night all the hair in the back of my neck was standing up as well as the hair on my arms. I mean, if you think about it, how many people, died in the coal mines and railroad accidents back in here. And they're still buried in the cemetery, and there's another one, I believe, on this side somewhere. And you don't know how many people are still here. But kind of scary if you think about it. Sometimes I think they're still here. Light orbs. Have you ever seen a light orb? Sometimes my trail camera catches them. They say when you pass away, that little orb is a person's soul going by. That's a very common thought most people have. They all see light orbs, and sometimes you won't believe them till you see them yourself.